Do you do this often at all events?
I do it whenever I go to events.
Don't go a lot. I love going to events, but I don't put the time to place. But whenever I do, I try to record podcasts. So that's how I make it worth my time. Shall we start?
Yeah. Hey, GM everyone. What's up? I'm Salman and welcome to Salman Needs a Job. I'm right now at Decrypt event in Bangalore at Four Seasons Hotel, and I'm here with Ash from Unstoppable Domains. How nice to run into somebody from Unstoppable Domains. So Ash runs partnerships in Unstoppable Domains. So I want to use this opportunity to ask you about that work, and of course learn about what you guys are doing with identity and NFTs in the space. First of all, what's up? How are you doing?
Doing very well. Thank you for taking the time out. So it's good to be interviewed by you in a way.
What are you doing at this event? Like, what's happening on your front on Unstoppable Domains?
Yeah, so we are trying to get into the ecosystem in Asia, and this is an event that we knew a lot of Web3 founders. The ecosystem especially in India will be here. So we wanted to make sure that we get the connects. As you said, I'm responsible for partnerships. So mostly looking at, engaging with a lot more projects coming out of it, seeing how we can support them, how we can, integrate with them and partner with them. We also have some of our main partners here, like Polygon is, the layer 2 blockchain that we are on. And that's about it. It's mostly about relationships. And
how does Unstoppable Domains support your partners?
Right. So there are multiple ways in which you can look at integrating with the Unstoppable Domain. So before I come to how we support that, maybe explain actually for people who are not familiar with Unstoppable Domains. Maybe explain what that is. Yeah. So we are a NFT domain provider, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to build more use cases leading up to it being your digital identity for an end user. But it's not relevant, it's only not restricted to that. So what we're trying to do is build a lot of functionality, utility around how you use your domain name to store, manage data. Not only that, to link to other platforms and applications, and in a way how it can be a single sign-on to log into applications as well. So for example...
But currently it doesn't do that, does it?
It does. So if I'm an NFT, our base use case is if I have a NFT, domain name, instead of remembering a very, complicated wallet address, I can send you cryptocurrency by looking up your NFT domain in a wallet that supports us, right? So that's the base use case, wherein it makes it not only easy for me to look you up and send you cryptocurrency or receive cryptocurrency from you, but it also takes care of a lot of errors, right? We've seen, a lot of our partners say, hey, you know what, and that's the main use case for them. Copy pasting a wallet address, right? Can lead to a lot of issues where you miss, your funds are lost forever, right? You can't do anything to get back. So this is a way to, make sure that error really, it's taken off the table. What it helps partners in this case?
I own a few Unstoppable Domains, including salmanneedsajob.nft. If you want to send any crypto, please do go ahead.
AshPinto.nft, it's another one. Okay. Yeah. So some of our partners have seen that, one is obviously it makes it very simple for users, improves their user experience. But it also has helped them reduce support time. People calling them and saying, hey, I used your wallet or I used your platform and I lost funds. So that is drastically reduced for some of them, and that's how they see some of the benefits coming out of it. So that's the base use case. But what we're doing is, if you go and like you have Salman, needs a job.dao, you can go to your Unstoppable Domain accounts and add more functionality to it. For example, you can add your social verifications on it. You can add all your NFTs that you own can be linked to your domain name. You can even have a privacy-based email, which we recently launched with some of our partners onto it. So which means that in the case of email, you can send me an email at ashpinto.nft@ud.me, but that's actually not my email ID. My email ID is something else, and that mail comes to me in any case. So there's a lot of features we're building. We're building a reward system in terms of badges. So a lot of our gaming partners, what they do is when they have to give out rewards and they have to, to their users, and if a domain name is linked, they can actually link it to the domain name. So that thereby reducing a lot of, I would say, compromising of NFTs, and they can make sure that they are rewarding the actual user and not a bot or any of those, right? Then we've seen other use cases where it comes.
What is a reward actually? What is a reward?
It could be in the form of an NFT badge. So something called badges, one of the scopes that we have built up. So it could be a form of an NFT, a badge, like in a game. Let's say you get a badge, can be linked to your domain name as well. So lots of use cases coming up, and what we are seeing this is in the future. We are seeing things like health records being linked to your domain. Seeing your music, your whatever you as a creator, your videos that you create will be linked to you, which means that you have ownership and you monetize it. Obviously, that's the promise of blockchain, but you can do it in an easy way by just having a domain name like AshPinto.x. So multiple use cases. So we're building strongly. What my job is to make sure that our partners in this region, I handle Asia, in this region are successful with us, so they can integrate our resolution product if they are a wallet or they are a project that gets the user to input their wallet address. Instead of wallet address, they can input an NFT domain.
Okay.
We also have extending to that.
Is it like a login with MetaMask?
Yes, so that's the other product. So one is the base use case of resolving a domain name. The second product is a single sign-on or login system. So we have a product, and that's a lot of partners, especially games, metaverses, dApps, they give that as an option for people to sign in. So not only can you go and use your NFT domain to sign up into a particular dApp, you can use the same domain across multiple different things. And as a user, you control what data you can share with them as well. So that's the single sign-on product is, it's called Login with Unstoppable. So that is something that a lot of partners who are, like I said, the metaverses, games, dApps, DeFi applications, where, they need somebody to connect. That becomes a category in which they can offer their users a way to connect into their platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So very sorry for my hair. I know that it's been if it's distracting. If it's distracting the video. Now tell me about your work actually. Like, what does it look like, and also how did you get a job in Unstoppable Domains? Like, it's really cool.
So I'll answer your second question first. So I got into. So I used to work with a lot of Web2 companies. IBM was one of them, and I got exposed to blockchain during those days, and I found it really interesting. Unfortunately, I didn't invest in bitcoins and anything like that, so I missed that boat. But I've always been fascinated by the technology, and I'm talking about this back in 2012, 13, right? So that's when
you missed out on the earliest alpha.
Yeah. Could have been.
Life would be a little different.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, it was all about the technology, and I saw the promise of it because, we had started experimenting, and we were talking about it in the supply chain use case, back in IBM. So I saw the promise of it. Of course, it gained prominence only later. In the last 2-3 years, I've actually gone into reading more of it and understanding it, and I found that this NFT domains as a use case, as a digital identity, to be fascinating. While the most popular is in NFT use cases the art, but there's a lot more to NFTs, right? They can be your document, like your, let's say, Aadhaar is on NFT, or it could be your land records, it could be a health ID, right? So but it being your digital identity was very fascinating for me, and that's how I got into the space and then made the move to Web3 where Unstoppable. Yeah.
So you understood NFT as a technology, that is what
the promise of it. I'm not like a very tech savvy guy, but I understand the promise of it. What can do, how users can monetize, on their effort. Right at the end, somebody is creating something like you. How do you really make sure that you are the one who's benefiting monetarily out of it? That's the promise of the blockchain.
What does your job look like nowadays? What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So
And it's also a remote job.
So we are a complete remote company. So we work virtually all the time. I think the biggest responsibility for us is to make sure we engage and partner with as many, companies or projects in the space. Not only to integrate, but also to go to market with them. So if recently we integrated with a decentralized email exchange called Ledger Mail. I'm not sure if you heard of it. So we actually went to market with them. We have a huge user base, so we actually give them exposure to that, announce a partnership. So what I do is not only manage, and kind of explain the promise of how integrating with us will, benefit their users, not only their users, but as a company, we also give them exposure to a lot of our users as well. So through
so
that,
distribution support kind of.
Yeah, in a way, getting them a bit more popular. Excuse me.
Yeah. And also, do you travel as part of your job?
Yeah, I handle Asia. So one of the things next week we'll be at Singapore for Token. That's, I think, Asia as a market, we were focused earlier more from the US point of view, like more of the US folks were talking to Asian companies, but now with a couple of us being in India or in this region, we are better suited to manage time zones and connect with them, and we are seeing a lot of progress because there are a lot of partners who want to partner with us. They're seeing the benefit of using an NFT domain, and the fact that we also have a login product and a lot more utility now built in, so they're getting excited about it. So my job is to mostly reach out to these people, connect with them at events or even offline, showcase the power of what a domain can do for them, and and see if we can do a partnership, launch them in this region as well.
Yeah. I'm wondering, how a project like mine could potentially partner with Unstoppable Domain. So I create content about Web3 at events like this, and also live streams and everything. And also I'm working on a community around this, about figuring out things about career. So I'm just wondering, is there any use case with?
Yeah, there are lots of use cases. So one of the main things is you should check up some of the awesome work done by our team on the education piece of NFT domains. So if you want to, really learn about NFT domains, use that content. We'll definitely be there to support you in that. There's lots of content. We have a learning blog on our website. You can actually go there, and it starts from as basic as what is a wallet to how you can use your NFT domains. And you can create a lot of content that you can offer to your user, right, using that. That's one way. Second way is you can actually reward your user, because our mission is to make sure that every person on the planet has their own identity in the form of NFT domain. So we'd love to partner with you, do some credit programs or giveaways for your users and communities. So getting them to onboard onto Web3 much faster. And I feel that creating a digital identity in a way forms the first layer of actually onboarding onto Web3. Education around that is one. Giving away credits or doing a campaign to excite your users to actually get their own domain name could be another way to look at it. And when you look at creating and owning your NFT, right, as your videos is an NFT, you can always have it linked to your domain name, and you can see how ways you can monetize it. You can give your users badges, etc. if they verify them through an NFT domain. That could be another use case.
Very interesting. Yeah. I'll totally think about that. Now, what is work culture like in Unstoppable Domains? Especially being, I think it's more than a year.
Unstoppable Domains as a company is almost 4 years old.
4 years. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I've been there for a year, so you're in a way. So work is awesome because I've traditionally come from very process oriented companies, and not that we don't have process here, but here there's a willingness on everyone's part to move fast, and the great thing about this whole ecosystem is people understand that the only way forward is through partnerships. So it's a lot more, people are more receptive to actually engaging with you. And when I say people, I'm not only internally, but even externally in the ecosystem, because at the end of it, it is all about the community as well, right?
What do you mean? What do you mean? The way forward is through partnerships.
Yeah, so one of the key things for most applications right now, right, and that's what we are focusing on. There are two types, in two ways in which we're going to market. One is through getting onboarding users, and that we're doing through education, etc. The other way of approaching that is we are building a lot of partnerships, with companies like Polygon or Ledger Mail, like I mentioned, to actually enable their users to get their own NFT domains and actually use it. Okay. Right? So that is our approach, and we have built, I think, in the last. I think we have actively started recently to build partnerships, and we already crossed 500 plus integrations across all our products. And some of the big names are your blockchain.com, crypto.com, and those kind of companies we're working with. I think the way forward, and that's what everyone's seeing now, is through partnerships with the companies where you have a strategic partnership in which somebody else does a particular piece better than you, and you let them do that piece, but you offer them and make it more usable for their users. Awesome. At the end, it's all about community. Yeah.
Awesome. And that's one of the beauties of Web3, actually, how collaborative it is and how we all going to make it work together.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
cool. Does Unstoppable Domains also give grants?
We do have a grant program. It is based on certain integration, but yeah, I mean, happy to consider. We have a complete grant program. It can go from, if somebody is integrating a login system, it can be a low value, whereas somebody has a higher lift. So what we try to do is we try to support the development work that is done with integration through grant programs. So that's our primary use case there, because it helps projects kind of minimize the cost of doing the development. Yeah.
Final question: how does one get a job in Unstoppable Domains?
The best approach: go to our website, look up, what profiles are available, keep track of that. We have an excellent recruitment and HR process, and one of the cool things, at least for me when I joined Unstoppable, was there's actually a whole onboarding, not only about NFT domains, but there's a whole onboarding program on what is crypto. So you need not come from a traditional, Web3 space. You may not need the kind of, skill sets that is required in blockchain, but we have that kind of on-the-job training programs. We start you off on a very onboarding thing. So that is one side of it. But yeah, the best way to look up what is the most relevant openings that are Unstoppable is look up on our website and apply there, because our recruitment teams are amazing at making sure that they pick the right talent.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Anything you want to touch on basically before we close?
No, this show is amazing. You should you should definitely follow Salman, and I've seen some of his cool videos. He's worked with some good projects. Not only, I know you're now looking at metaverse companies, but keep up the good work, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Do subscribe. Salman Needs a Job. And also, where can people find you, follow you?
Yeah, you can find me on Telegram. I think I'm most active there now that I'm in Web3. So AshPint, PINT is my username. So hit me up. Or you can look me up on LinkedIn. AshPinto is my username. I'll pop up for you. So make sure that when you look me up on Telegram, I've also mentioned that I'm from Unstoppable Domain, so don't click on any bots. That might be in my name. Yeah.
And also link to the LinkedIn.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do that as well. That'll be great. And there's Twitter. So I'm everywhere. So you can connect me in any form. Right.
This was great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I'm very happy to run into you.